The Pierre Shawl is one of my favorite textured shawls because it's really quick to knit with DK weight yarn. So I'm going to show you how to cast on this shawl. It uses a little tab cast on and ribbing. So I'm going to show you how to cast on and pick up stitches to get you started for the Pierre Shawl. And then we're going to take a look at all those beautiful textures up close. So let's dive in and cast on. Pierre begins at the top center of the shawl right here with this ribbed tab, this 1x1 rib. That's what I'm going to show you how to do in just a moment. And then you pick up stitches to do garter stitch, twisted ribbing, knit purl triangles, and all these other fun textures. It's just knitting and purling. There's no brioche, there's no fancy color work, just knits and purls. There's some stripes to blend the colors together. And you just blend 4 shades of DK weight yarn, 4 skeins, from the top center all the way to the border finish. So let's cast on. Using A, cast on 11 stitches using any cast on method you like. I'm going to use the long tail cast on, so I have my hands in the slingshot position. I'm going to cast on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Any cast on method you like. 11 stitches. This is going to be our next row, wrong side. Purl 1, knit 1 5 times. So purl that first stitch. Knit 1. Purl 1. Knit 1. So purl 1, knit 1 5 times. And once you reach the last stitch, you've got your purl 1, knit 1, and go ahead and purl that last stitch. So we're going to do 1x1 ribbing. All right, this is going to be next row right side. If it helps you, you might want to place a little split ring marker to mark your right side so you don't forget which is right and which is wrong. We're going to slip 1 knitwise on the right side, just like that. Purl 1. Knit 1, purl 1 4 times. So we're going to keep working that 1x1 ribbing, knitting the knit stitches, purling those purl stitches. When you reach the last stitch of your right side row, slip 1 knitwise, just like that. Next row, wrong side, purl 1, knit 1 5 times. Purl 1, knit 1, all the way to the last stitch. Purl 1, knit 1, and then purl that last stitch. You are going to repeat those last 2 rows once more. So slipping that first stitch knitwise and keep working that 1x1 ribbing. Knit 1, purl 1 4 times. And then slip that last stitch knitwise. Next row, wrong side. Purl 1. Knit 1 5 times. So we're getting this beautiful 1x1 ribbing, and you want to make sure that you always knit those smooth knit columns and you purl the bumps. So we're going for smooth 1x1 ribbing. And we'll purl that last stitch on the wrong side. All right, next row, right side. Slip 1 knitwise, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 4 times. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, and then knit 1 to finish the row. So we're knitting at the end of the right side, knitting that last stitch. Do not turn to work the other side. we're going to pick up and knit 3 stitches along these selvage rows, this selvage. So we need to get 3 stitches. We're going to get 1 stitch here. We're going to pick up and knit into this first slipped stitch. 1, 2, and 3. So we're getting 3 stitches by diving into both legs of that edge stitch. There's that third one. 1, 2, 3. And now we need to pick up and knit 11 stitches along the cast on edge right here. This gets a little bit tight for me, so I'm going to pull my cable needle through so that I have more flexibility. So I'm still looking at the right side, but I just pulled my cable needle through, kind of like a magic loop style, so that my needle tip can easily start to pick up and knit along the cast on edge. So you want 11 stitches. My first stitch, I just went into that little corner. And the second stitch, I want to go into this purl bump column. So I'm going to dive right into here for number 2. And for number 3, for my third stitch, I'm going to go in the middle of this knit column. You see that little knit column happening right here? I'm going to go into the middle of that little knit stitch right by the edge for number 3. All right, we've got 3, we need 11 total. So now I'm going to go into this purl column, then go into that knit column, go into that purl column. I pull the yarn quite tightly around my needle so that I can easily grab and pull it through. So if your yarn is loose and you try to pull it through, it's just going to slip off. So I'm diving into this knit column. And if you wrap the yarn with your right hand, pull it a little bit tight so that you can easily grab it. Now we're going to go through a purl column, purl stitch right there, that purl stitch column, and then we'll go through a knit column right there. How many do we have? Got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. We just need 2 more. It gets a little funky here at the edge because we're running out of space. So I need 1 more stitch. Where do you go? You just got to get a strand of yarn here at the corner. I'm just going to get 1 strand of yarn. Look at that. At the corner, just dive in and pick up a strand of yarn and you'll be okay. Get that whole stitch. There we go. I have 11 stitches picked up. And it's going to look really nice if you try to go into the knits and the purls. So get into the knit stitch and the purl stitch, dive into the middle of the knit stitch, get that purl stitch, and that's going to make it really nice and smooth. If it doesn't work the first try, then rip it out and try it again, or just, it doesn't really matter. As long as you have 11 stitches, who's going to know? If something looks funky, you have this tail of yarn from your cast on you can use for surgery to hide any little boo-boos later. Next row, wrong side. Purl 1, knit 1 4 times. Purl 1, knit 1. Purl 1, knit 1. Purl 1, knit 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Purl 1, purl 1 more stitch, and then after those first 9 stitches, place a marker. Knit 7. 1, 2, and I have that cord poking out, so I'm going to slide all my stitches onto my left needle tip so that I can continue to knit 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Place another marker. Purl 1. Knit 1, purl 1 4 times. Knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, and we'll knit and purl the last stitch. Whew, it was a little tight on that wrong side row, but it's going to start loosening up very soon. So you should have this little blob of knitting that looks like this. Doesn't look like much, but let's work just a couple more rows and then you'll be off and knitting and it's going to get really easy from here on out. So the next row, right side, we're going to slip one knitwise, purl one, knit one 4 times, and you're going to always do this at the beginning of your row. Keep doing that beautiful ribbed edge. Purl one, knit one, slip the marker, yarn over, knit one 7 times. Yarn over, knit one, yarn over, knit one. So we're doing a yarn over before every stitch. Yarn over, knit one. If you hold the yarn in your right hand, you'll be doing a yarn over like that. Knit one. Once you do that 7 times, finish with a yarn over and then slip the marker. Slip that stitch marker onto the right needle. And then knit one, purl one 4 times. Knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl 4 times, and slip that last stitch knitwise. Just like that. And that's really all the techniques that you're going to need to do for the beginning. It's just knitting and purling, little yarn overs at the edge. I'm just going to finish this wrong side row. I'm going to purl one, knit one 4 times. Purl one, knit one. You always want to keep that ribbing going into these smooth columns now on your edges. Purl one, knit one, purl one. There's that beautiful 1x1 ribbing. Slip marker. So after you slip the marker, this is really important. After you slip the marker, you're always going to yarn over. So yarn over around the needle like that, or with your right hand, you're going to yarn over after you slip the marker, and then knit 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, all the stitches to the marker, 14 and 15, there we go. And after you knit 15, we're going to do another yarn over, slip the marker, and then we're going to need to purl one. Purl that stitch right there, and then knit one, purl one 4 times. Knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, and knit one, purl one, knit one, purl that last stitch. There we go. That was next row, wrong side. You are now ready for garter stitch, section 1, garter stitch, row 1, right side. We're going to use those same techniques that we just did, working yarn overs with knits and purls, and look at that. We have a baby shawl right there. Those first 9 stitches and last 9 stitches are going to make a beautiful 1x1 ribbing. So that's going to become the wingspan edge of your shawl. The first 9 stitches and the last 9 stitches. And we're going to have yarn overs on the right side and the wrong side. So always make sure that your yarn over happens after the first stitch marker and before the last stitch marker. You don't want your stitch marker sliding into the middle of your fabric. So you always want 9 stitches, then your stitch marker, then a yarn over. And at the end of your row, you always want your yarn over, then your stitch marker, then your 9 stitches. So as long as you keep track of that, Just keep on flowing and going, following the rows as written. And if you encounter some stitch count issues later in the shawl, if you miss a yarn over or you count your stitches and you have too many, just sneak in an extra increase or decrease, okay? And the best place to do that is at the edge. So if you're ready to knit this triangle section and you're like, oh man, I'm missing one stitch, just do a yarn over, make one, and just sneak in an extra make one, or do a yarn over, knit one, yarn over. You know, sneak in an extra yarn over or make one increase at the edge. Or if you have too many stitches, you could skip a yarn over, or you could do a little yarn over, knit two together, you know, just sneak in an increase or decrease. The edge is the best place to do that, and just give yourself a count. You know, I give you the stitch counts for each section, and don't rip out your knitting if you're just one stitch shy. So enjoy the texture. Have fun with all those knits and purls, and before you know it, you'll be finished and working on that border. Once you get cast on with the Pierre Shawl, it gets easier and easier as you repeat the rows and the stitches grow to the border. So I just love that DK weight size, because you're gonna like watch a few movies and blink and you'll be like halfway through the shawl. So follow those recommended color suggestions, place in the colors and stripes for that 4 skein fade. But if you want to do a solid version too, I've seen some beautiful solid versions. So just get that recommended yardage and meterage, 4 skeins of DK weight yarn, and customize those colors, and you'll make one and you can make it again in some other colors and it'll look like a totally new shawl. So have fun with Pierre using hashtag Pierre Shawl on Instagram, and I'll see you in the next video.